Last night I was watching a movie, uh, actually documentary about all the woes of healthcare here in the United States, and the documentary was made a number of years ago, and there was one scene where people were lined up very close together, and I felt a little bit nervous seeing that. I thought people should be 6 feet away. There was another scene where these two politicians were getting ready to discuss something, and they shook hands. And again, my heart almost missed a beat. It made me realize how little of life before COVID-19 I can still remember anymore, which is funny because COVID-19, even though as long as it seems it has been, it's only a small fraction of my life, right? It's gone on for what, 6 months? Less than 1% of my life, and yet everywhere I go, it seems like I cannot remember what life has been like, what life was like before COVID-19. I'm kind of making this video to kind of remind myself of what life was like, and hopefully some of that can return, right? I recently went to a job interview, and I knew not to shake hands anymore, but it almost felt so awkward at the end of it. So at that time, it didn't seem that far away. But I do kind of miss shaking hands. It's kind of funny. At the beginning of COVID-19, when people asked me what would be the hardest thing to do during COVID-19, I probably mentioned, I hope I get to go to the Computer Olympiad. I hope I get to go to my favorite social hole. I hope I get to spend time with my girlfriend and maybe go home to my family in the East Coast. I probably would have mentioned those things as things that would be hard to give up, and they weren't the hardest things to give up. The hardest things to give up were the things that we took for granted, right? That being able to line up at the grocery store without having to fear everybody else, being able to start conversations randomly at the grocery store, while you're riding the bus, to be able to, let's see, at the beginning we couldn't do this. Now it's become a little bit more relaxed to be able to go into the countryside to view the night sky. Little things like that. Oh, to be able to go online without seeing a million ads about how we need to wash our hands because thousands of people are dying a day. To go a day without hearing about the concept of death. Those are the things that I really missed. But even then, I've started to adjust to that as well. Like I'm watching documentaries, and yesterday, because the documentary was about healthcare, and I was watching about these how long people had to wait to get surgery, how much people had to pay, and I was like, really, they have a hospital bed? I thought they were all taken up by COVID. Oh yeah, that video was 10 years ago, and it's become a very routine idea, right? Almost like the idea that you have to be careful who you have sex with, or you might catch HIV, right? That was 40 years ago, and it's become a part of daily thought process now, right? But before COVID, let's see what else we did. I went to the Computer Olympiad every year for how many years now? 6 years now before COVID. We never thought about the dangers of sitting next to somebody who was ill. Actually, I had to, because I have food allergies. I have to remind the person next to me to keep the food to their area, right? Kind of like a social distancing of food, right? I obviously, because I have other challenges, I have to remember to bring various supplements that I'm taking, right? So kind of like packing the hand sanitizer and stuff like that, right? I wonder if they've relaxed the rules on bringing hand sanitizer onto the airplane now. I'll have to double check. Although they do make them in small bottles, so I would imagine probably not. What else is going on? Obviously I have to be mindful about. I react badly to some fragrances, so if I were carpooling with somebody, I had to make sure people didn't bring fragrances into the car. So kind of like a quarantine, right? If somebody had fragrances, they had to go wash it off or maybe change their clothes or stuff like that. So some of the concepts of COVID-19 weren't terribly foreign to me just because of the conditions that I have. But even still, I have a hard time envisioning going back to the kind of freedom we had before COVID-19, right? Thanks for watching.